Hello everyone, this is Colleen from Pave, here with a science experiment for you. Now this is a twist on the old penny in soda experiment. What you're going to need for this experiment are some plastic or glass cups, pennies, and some liquids that you have around your house. Now what liquids? That is somewhat up to you. Depends what you have handy. Now instead of cola, I have grapefruit soda here because that's just what I happen to have. I'm also going to use some apple cider vinegar because I was out of normal vinegar, soapy water, and just normal tap water. Now these different liquids are your variables. So variables just means something that you can change. You don't want to have more than one variable, otherwise you won't be able to figure out what caused the result that you eventually get. Since the liquid is the variable, the pennies that we put in each of these liquids should be the same. I did a little research on pennies, since I knew the material used in pennies has changed over the years. It turns out that the current pennies are just copper plated instead of being mostly copper, like these older ones. Pennies that were made from between 1962 and 1982 are 95% copper, while pennies made from 1982 to the present are only 2.5% copper. Since these are essentially very different, we're going to just use one or the other, otherwise that would be one too many variables. So I found 5 of these older pennies that were made around the same year, and they're also about the same amount of tarnish on them. They look about the same color. Now I'm going to put one in each of these liquids. And I'm going to leave one out just so I can refer back to see how it originally looked. Since I'm going to leave these for a few days, I am going to label them with marker on tape. That way I do not have to rely on my memory. Now we're gonna sit and see what happens, and this will take a few days. If you use something other than pennies, like a plant or something, it might take less time. Hey there, it's about a week later. I've left these pennies in their liquids. I've rotated them so the liquids come in contact with both sides of the penny, although maybe not so equally. Now, this is the penny that I had out the entire time, so this is for comparison. So let's see what we got. So the penny that was in the water did not really have any significant change, not that I can tell. And this is probably because tap water is almost exactly at 7 pH. And that means that it is neutral. It's not acidic, it's not alkaline. We'll talk more about those things in a sec. This is the one that was in soapy water compared to the original one. It actually looks like it has more stuff on it. I don't know if that's true or not, but it's slightly different color and it feels weird. So you can see this is the one that was in apple cider vinegar. This is the original. It has gotten much brighter. That's because vinegar and apple cider vinegar are acidic. Last one is the soda. Okay, and it's a lot like the one that was in the vinegar. Might be even a little bit brighter compared to the regular one. Okay, so here we have the pennies with the liquids they were in. So these two that got really shiny were both in acidic solutions. The soapy water one was an alkaline solution, and it looks like it got different material put on it. The water, which is pretty close to being neutral, looks a lot like the one that had nothing done to it. So this is basically understanding the pH scale. You can look it up more. It's really interesting to see what it is that's really on the far sides of the spectrum. The stuff on the far sides of the spectrum can be dangerous though. Stay away from substances with a very high or very low pH level. Now, we did this with pennies because there's plenty of pennies out there and they're not really worth that much. But you can also use other things. One of the classics is putting a tooth that you lost in soda and see how long it takes to disintegrate, because it will disintegrate. Just like it took away stuff from this penny, it will take stuff away from your actual teeth. Please, with the consent of any parents or guardians around, use whatever liquids that you have, throw what you want in it, see what happens, because honestly, it can be really weird and interesting, and in a lot of cases, shiny.